YouTube does that to me. It just bounced me out. Sorry, guys. If I could actually put these all together when this happens, because this happens, I get bounced out of YouTube at least once every 2 weeks. They just whatever. I mean, it just stops, and it's not my Wi-Fi at all. It's just it is what it is. Um, anyway, and that's what I think is Kennedy. She's not gonna she's not gonna be there as long as people think. Though I'd still think in my heart of hearts that they're not going to extend her contract. She can. I mean, wait. That they also could do this. They're not done filming Indy 5. In fact, I'm getting messages right now from somebody who's literally walking around one of the sets. Um, if they don't finish by the end of October, I can see it just them pushing it out till it at least wraps principal photography. Then we get into post production, which all the stuff with the deep faking and the de aging and all the rest of that stuff, yeah, that's where that happens. And of course, editing the movie. So I am looking forward to this in a way to see where it goes. Hey, coffee and Corbin. I'm sorry that happened. Since I don't have a studio set up with a microphone and earphones and all that, I have to use my iPhone, and YouTube likes to bounce me off sometimes. I mean, I might. It's just really weird. I don't know if it's intentional or it's just the connection or whatever, but that's what happens. So, but I think the thing about it that I'm really upset about this whole thing is that we're all very cautious about things being called rumors when they are. And when I was watching Sutton on Pop Culture Minefield, he presented the rumor as a fact. He didn't say at all that it was a rumor. That's the thing that bothers me because it is a rumor. It is, no one's hearing anything. And I mean, I haven't heard anything. Doomcock hasn't. This is a first for everybody. You're like, what are you talking about? But you also got to remember that we are going to hear stuff like that. We're going to hear stuff about Gina. We're going to hear stuff about, maybe more stuff about the Acolyte, even though I think that ship has sailed. I think the interpretive dance that Forehead was putting on was basically all for naught. In fact, what I think could happen, and this is just me, I mean, this is just me kind of trying to figure out what they're thinking. What if, and this is a theory, this is not fact or anything, this is just a theory. If Kennedy gets pushed into another part of Disney Studios and takes Acolyte with her, and it's not part of Star Wars anymore, and then she can fail miserably on her own without hurting, because let me tell you something. That is not Star Wars. What they're talking about, you have people who aren't fans working on a Star Wars project, and everyone that's hearing about it's going like, I mean, that's what's going on. You know? So, they could do that with her and just say, here, go over there and be quiet. But I don't think so. I think, honestly, some of the stuff that she has optioned, like the Children of Blood and Bone, she'll probably take with her. Because I mean, when I looked at the synopsis of that book, no, she's done. She's done, Corban. You guys are falling for the idea that that Hollywood isn't changing, and it is. You look at Chapek is not a Hollywood guy. He's not. He wasn't connected to any of those people, which is a good thing. Zaslav, who's going to take over Warner Brothers, is not connected to any of these people. They want to make money. Period, full stop. That's it. Shareholders love that. And I don't think admitting a woman, a lot of that stuff is going to be left over from Iger. But as you see Iger's influence waning, you're going to see it less and less. It's not, I think, when I look at Bob Chapek, just by looking at him, I see a guy who looks at people and thinks to himself, what is a talent this person's bringing? Not, are they a female or black or white or red or purple chartreuse spots or yellow? What are their talents? What are their merits? Where are they going to help the company make money? Okay, that's, oh yeah, I do too. I mean, and now I think we're getting back to the point where they're realizing that. I mean, let me put it this way. Walking into Ollie's, and if you have an Ollie's in your area, go look. Go look. Because there's a plethora of Star Wars stuff everywhere. I've you know, Dave Pensack sent me pictures of stuff that, and it's literally piles of it all over the place. That, it's like walking into a graveyard. It's like walking into a memorial to a failure. Okay? I don't see Chapek wanting to reward people for that. And I see him playing some sort of 4D chess and putting people and isolating them. And if she ends up being moved to a different part of Disney, that doesn't mean she's going to be able to do anything. You know, it'll look on the outside like it's a promotion, but we all know she's being put over there and isolated until she leaves. Okay, that might be what he's planning on doing. You know, keep your friends close, keep your enemies closer. I don't know. I'm convinced though that she's on her way out. I really am, and I it doesn't make any sense, in my opinion, for her to want to even stay. And like I said before, if they extend her contract a year, that doesn't mean she's going to stay the whole year. Okay? Because, and if I could find the article, there's supposed to be some big announcements at Star Wars Celebration next year in May. And anybody out there may be watching a change of the guard. Hey, Vader fanatic. Howdy. Sorry, guys, that this bleeped out on me. I don't understand why YouTube does that. But I'm just sitting here waiting for all of this to happen. But as far as, I'm not happy with the way this rumor came out as a fact. And I don't like the way, I don't like the attitude. I don't like the way it was presented on Pop Culture Minefield. I don't like the fact that they didn't push him on that, because I would have been, wait, what? Okay, I need the full Monty. No, she's done, Corban. She's done. You know, you don't listen. I have stopped listening to people from a certain part of the fandom on any of this. From a certain big channel. You know, when you constantly post fanboy rage porn, and you can't find anything to be happy about, but you're making a lot of money doing it, you're going to keep doing it, even if it's not honest. There's another part of that group that has the attitude that they know everything about Hollywood because they used to work there almost 10 years ago. All right. I don't listen to them either. If you're not currently there, again, when I think about that particular person who's a troublemaker and a troll, when I think about that guy, him making statements like, oh no, blah, 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 in Hollywood, blah, shut up, just shut up. How do you know? You haven't actually worked in the film industry since 2012. How do you know? Because things change from then to now. Big time. They were changing when he left. They went bad, and now it looks like they're changing again. Okay? It's like me having left politics in 2000, hey Stephanie, in 2003, and acting like I know what's going on in DC right now. Now, I can get on the phone. Let me get to that. I've talked about that, but let me get back to that, Troy. I could get on the phone and call my congressman's chief of staff. We're friends. And get the skinny. I mean, talking to her about Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is like an adventure, and holy shit, I can't believe you didn't, but it's not my DC anymore. Okay. I don't, my friends, I've got some friends who are still like working at the Department of Justice, but they're not connected the way we used to be. My friends that worked on the Senate side, they went off to doing other things. My friends who worked for the President of the United States are off doing other things. Okay. I don't have those connections anymore, so I can't say definitely this, and this. I can talk about political strategy. I can talk about what I saw, but it's not the same. It's not the same as relevant stuff. You know what I'm saying? So when you have someone say, oh, they'll never do that to a woman, and you're looking at them and go, well, you made one short film, you left in 2012, and you're making these pronouncements, and everybody's on their knees worshiping you, and you believe your own bullshit. The only person that I trust in this instance, when we're talking about relevant political chicanery going on at Disney, is Cameron. That's it. Because he's still there. He still has connect. I mean, he's in the middle of it. Okay? Again, that's like me talking about, what the minority leader should be doing to stop Pelosi. Like, I know all the ins and outs because they change. Okay? They change from year to year in politics, and the same thing in business, the same thing in any industry. People change, office chemistry changes. The industry isn't the same as it was, et cetera, et cetera. And, running around saying they'll never do this because blah, blah, blah. You don't know that. You don't know that. A lot of people, yeah, it is. It's insight, because you have to be able to read between the lines. Like, I've got a tweet I'm going to send to Doomcock when I'm done here, because I want him to use it. Because it's like, and I sent it to him before, but I'm going to say, hey, you want to put this in a video, be my guest and credit me. Okay, I want Pablo to know I was the one behind this. You have to learn to be able to read between the lines. This is why the Atlantic article is so important. Okay, this is why the Variety articles are so important. What book? What book, Old Redneck? So, yeah, now I'm going to go back to Troy's question. Do I think you're right, Matt Piranha? You got to read, you got to be able to read between the lines. This is where you just look at somebody and go, do I need to write this out for you in crayon? Will you understand it then? Anyway, so do I think that they might extend her contract enough for her to finish Indy 5? They might. I don't see why they would have to. I think after all the pain and suffering she's put the fans through, that it might be time for her to just leave. Or just to announce when Indy 5's over, she's leaving. She's retiring from Lucasfilm and going on to other projects or whatever, you know how they always say it. I think the fans would be happy. Again, you got to understand, what do you want? Do you want to toll? She's a woman and they'll never do it. That's an easy cop out. That's not acknowledging anything that we know for sure is going on with Chapek. That's falling on to the good things never happen. We always have to be negative. We completely ignore everything that Chapek, that they've said he's doing. I mean, one of the articles, I think it was the first Variety article, said that he's looking to do restructuring in the fall. Now, let's talk about that. October is a time when people get hired and fired, and executives move. All right, let's see. Carrie Hart left in the fall. Chuck Wendig got fired in the fall. I could go on and on. I mean, endlessly on that. Okay. You understand where I'm going now. Okay. This is not something that they can ignore. This is about getting Disney back onto a financial setting that they can actually pay dividends again. Okay. And I'm going to tell you something. If you don't think Cameron, because he's been trained as a lawyer, knows kind of how to do all this strategizing. He knows probably the mindset of a lot of these people because he's met some of them. He's worked among them. And it helps to be a little more educated, I think. Because I'm going to tell you something. He said this. There are a lot of people in the writers' rooms that don't have educations. They're not that I'm saying that having a degree makes or breaks you. But if you're trained in what I call the lawyer's trade, when you're trained to read contracts, when you're trained to read law, when you're trained to read briefs, etc., 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 when you have to memorize all that stuff, when you're trained to understand word definitions, it makes you a better, I think, writer. I think reader of people. I think reader of a room. And that's the thing, is a lot of these people aren't really like that. They don't understand that you need to be able to do a lot of these things. And I'm going to go and look at Chapek's bio because I want to know where he went to school and stuff, because I have a feeling they're not dealing with a regular executive. I really, really do, because let's put it this way. George Lucas said it best. The average Hollywood film executive isn't sophisticated. Anybody thinks that Kathleen Kennedy is sophisticated, that Kevin Feige is sophisticated, Harvey frickin' Weinstein is sophisticated, they're wrong. They're not. Okay? They're not that bright. I mean, Kennedy, she got her degree, I think, in TV, and actually had a talk show in San Diego, and after Close Encounters came out, decided to rush to Los Angeles, and I think her twin sister, yes, she has a twin who's also a movie executive. She went out there to actually meet Steven Spielberg. She ended up working for, and this is how she did it. She didn't just go up to Spielberg and said, "Do you need an assistant? I want a job." She went to John Milius. So she eased her way into the group through John Milius. Then she met Spielberg. Then he hired her as his assistant. And then because she was so bad as an assistant, he gave her a job as a producer. Okay. So she really didn't, I don't think she's ever really put herself in a place where she's actually had to show any merit, any talent. Because, I can organize a guy's office. Okay. I can take shorthand. And, all right. So whatever she did beyond that got her where she is today. Okay. It's not because she's talented. It's because she networked. It's just like Howard Kurtzman or Alex Kurtzman. It's not the fact that he's been successful and he hasn't been at all, and we all know that. It's because of who he knows. But what they did was they put him in such a box, he really can't do anything more to Star Trek than he's already done it. The problem for the fans, and you can see by Doomcock's Rage, is that the motherfucker is still there. And that will be the problem for Star Wars if Kennedy is still there. That's the problem. That is the PR nightmare that they should be thinking about. And that, like I said, if she had any self-respect, she'd look at herself in the mirror and say, do I really want to do this anymore? Do I really want to be the president of a company where the customers hate my guts? Where, they consider me a failure? You got to think about that. Why would she want to do that? Now, she's a narcissist. I don't think she thinks in a logical or rational way. Obviously, her politics say that she doesn't. However, maybe Frank could sit down with her and say, no more, no more, no more. Okay? I mean, they've been married long enough to where I think that he might have some sway over her, even though I'm not sure. Guys that are married to fanatical feminazis fall into two categories. Either they're really alpha males, and he is definitely not an alpha male, or they're putzes. And I don't know if he's a putz. He doesn't come off as a putz, but I feel bad for the guy. He goes on Twitter and he posts pictures, beautiful golden retriever dog. And I'm like, well, at least he's got a dog. That's good. Every guy deserves to have a nice dog. So, I don't know, but he could be the one to take her and say, look, this can't go on anymore. You're not happy. The fans are angry. The franchise is suffering. And, why would you want to be in a place where nobody wants you? John and Dave don't want you around. They don't want you part of this. It doesn't make sense. Again, no one's asked that question. Why hasn't someone sat down with her and said, enough is enough? And again, Tom will say, well, that's not how Hollywood thinks. They're thinking it now because they're not making any money. And there's a whole new law posse coming in to these studios named Zaslav and Chapek. and they're not going to tolerate bullshit anymore. You got to understand, things are changing, okay? They can sit there and say whatever they want, but if you're not, oh yeah, that book, yeah, okay. Yeah, that, she could take that book and shove it up her bony ass. I mean, I don't, it doesn't belong at Lucasfilm, and it sure as fuck doesn't belong in Disney. It looks like it's a hate novel. It's a hate novel. And only a stupid, guilty white bitch like Kathleen Kennedy would think, oh, what a great idea. Maybe we'll make that. What? Why would you want to do that? Why? Good question. All right. Anyway, I'm going to be on for 5 more minutes and then I'm going to make myself some lunch. So we're at this point. We're going to see a lot of rumors that are contradictory, and we'll know they're fake. I mean, when Sutton said that, it's based on the fact that her movies have been successful and there was something else. I'm like, no, they haven't been. Again, where are the shareholders? I would think they'd be like, $1 billion. Let's see how much did that cost to make The Rise of Skywalker, and how much it cost for the reshoots. I guarantee you The Rise of Skywalker didn't make any money. If it broke even, they're lucky. We know Solo lost $250 billion. Okay? You got to take that into consideration. You can't just go 3 movies made over $1 billion, blah, blah, blah. That was 2 contracts ago. Okay? You got TLJ made over $1 billion, and then Solo crashed and burned. And it's still falling into the earth, the molten hot lava, magma of the Earth's crust, or core. Then we get The Rise of Skywalker, the only movie that Lucasfilm has made since she was renewed in 2018. And it barely limped over the $1 billion mark. No, babyface, it's not. When you look and see how much these movies cost to make, and the fact that, so that's already taken off the top. All right, that is taken off the top. And marketing, that's taken off the top. That's half of what, you balance it out with that's half of what the movie costs to make. All right. Then it's theater take. And oh, by the way, the Star Wars movies did not do well in China because China, and if they had, they'd still only get 20 to 25% from each movie, and the Chinese don't even want to give these studios that. Okay, now, are they getting paid up front? Maybe. I don't know. But I'm going to tell you this. The Rise of Skywalker did not make $1 billion. It probably lost money. Solo lost money. I wouldn't doubt that TLJ, it only made $20 million in China. What's 20% of that? 500,000? 20%, no. About 2 million? Really? 3 million? I mean, what the, oh, wow, that Chinese box office. We need more, what the fuck? Okay. You gotta look at that too. So when I hear people say, well, they hit all the marks, that was a contract ago. This is the only movie that they've made since she signed that contract, and it didn't do well. $1 billion is meaningless anymore. Okay. It's meaningless. So that was something Tom missed big time. And that is definitely something Mike Sutton missed. All right. There's been a moratorium on franchise movies for Star Wars since 2018. The only one they made was Rise of Skywalker to finish the fucking dumpster fire. Okay? They all know it's a dumpster fire. No one can sit there and tell me they don't at Disney. No one. Anyway, I gotta go. I'm gonna make some lunch. My dog is here. I'll show you. Do do do. Kojak. There he is. And here he comes. He is perched in the window watching outside. Anyway, I gotta go, and I'm gonna be in the chat at Minute's Edge. So I'll see you guys there. And you know, they're gonna be talking about ScarJo. I guess it's gonna go to court, and ScarJo's lawyers think they can win, and I think they're going to get a mighty shock. In fact, I think they're probably playing right into Chapek's hands. I don't think it is. I can't remember what it is. Anyway, I'll talk to you guys later. See you around the galaxy.